It's a tough question when you're asked about being a trailblazer, a pioneer, mother football, any of that. It's a tough question to answer because that's not why you started in this business. I wanted to cover the Cowboys, and here I am, and now other women who want to do this now have a clear path, clear vision of how to get there, and it can be done, and it has been done. I'm Charean Williams, and I've covered the NFL for almost 30 years. I grew up in Beaumont, Texas. The local paper came out. They wrote a story on me being the Cowboys' youngest fan, as the headline read. And in the story, I mentioned I want to cover the Dallas Cowboys when I grow up. And that's what I set out to do my entire life, was to cover the Dallas Cowboys. So I started working for the high school newspaper. I went to Texas A&M, majoring in journalism. I did a lot of TV work there too, but mainly in newspapers. But I just had a natural knack for writing. My first job in 1994, I covered the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I was it. I was the lone woman. I'll never forget. On Mondays, the team would talk after their walkthrough practice, and they would talk in the locker room. And at that time, their locker room was, well, the men will go in the locker room and they'll get their interviews. I think that was the first time I realized that this is something that women didn't do. And so I started asking if I could stand out in the hallway, and the male reporters all stood out there with me, and they would bring players out. And I was very grateful to the other reporters for standing outside the locker room with me, as opposed to going into the locker room when they're all in there. But there are many stories like that when it just, you're treated differently than other people are treated, than the men are treated, and they're going in locker rooms and you're having to wait outside. For women who want to do this, who dream as a second grader of becoming an NFL reporter, of covering whatever their favorite team is, hopefully their path now is cleared and a little bit easier than what my path was. Things are much better now than they used to be, and I've seen those changes, and I'm thankful and grateful that we've come from there to here, where we don't hear many of those stories anymore. I was the first woman to win the Dick McCann Award, which is now named the Bill Nunn Award, for distinguished career covering the NFL as a writer. And the thing that made it so special was that my peers voted for me. And most of my peers are male reporters. So that was the ultimate sign of respect from my colleagues. It's validation both from your colleagues, the other reporters who are mostly male, and from the people you covered, the players, the coaches, many of them Hall of Famers who you covered, so you have respect from both of those groups when you win something like that. I always tell young women, if this is what they want to do, to pursue their dream, to do everything they can to make it happen. Whatever it takes, however hard you have to work, whatever hurdles you have to overcome, you can do it. You can get there. Never set out to trailblaze, but I think the fact that I have done it is just really cool. It's neat. When you hear these young kids who come up to you and they do know you by nickname, by Mother Football, I just think it is a sign of respect, and that's very, very meaningful. I don't know that there's anything more meaningful than that. You can give me all the awards you want, but hearing a young female reporter say thank you is the ultimate sign of respect.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.